Hi everybody, it's me Jill. Welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of Vanderpump Rules Season 8, Episode 9. If you're going to drink, I can't stop you. Okay, Episode 9 opens up at a restaurant. We are with Tom and Katie and Stassi and Beau. And it's Stassi's birthday, or at least it's close to Stassi's birthday, because she, surprise, surprise, is not going to have a birthday party this year. I guess her sister is getting married, so she's got her sister's wedding, and then right from there she's flying to Kentucky for Jax and Brittany's wedding, her birthday celebration too. Ariana did text Stassi about having a joint celebration, but Stassi doesn't want to. I guess Ariana has a bunch of friends that Stassi doesn't know, and she doesn't want to make small talk with people. I mean, it's not clear yet whether she's going or not. I think she might be, because they said, well, you at least have to have a shot with her because it's your birthday too. And she goes, no, it isn't. It's Ariana's birthday. And they're like, yeah, but it's your birthday too. And she's like, no, what I say goes. She's planning on having a party that's twice as big next year, though, because she's missing this year. The four of them talk about how they're gonna talk to Jax about maybe inviting Sandaval, at least inviting him to the wedding, because they think he's gonna regret it. Stassi goes, I'm gonna talk to him about it. Side note, this is episode 9. So I get, we still have a ways to go. Usually Vanderpump Rules has a kind of a long season. But do you guys feel like Katie has a diminished role this year? Even though she's half of Tom and Katie, she does not have her own storyline. She doesn't work at Sir or Tom Tom or anything like that. So, I mean, all we know so far is that she has taken up knitting. And I don't know how exciting that's going to be to watch. I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy a little break from Katie. She was a lot last year, not in a good way. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just an observation. I'm wondering if she's not going to be on that much this season. We'll see, I guess. The next scene is Natalie going to Villa Rosa to see Lisa, bring her flowers, and she gifts her with these beautiful picture frames, photos of Lisa's mom, and one with Lisa and her mom in it. Very sweet. She's there to pay her condolences. She asked Lisa if she was going to London, and Lisa said, yes, I have to. All right, now we're at Sir, and Danica is asking Dayna and Raquel to fold napkins with her. Can we just do 50 real quick? Because Peter did not ask anyone to do any last night. And I guess they have a big party coming in. I don't like Danica. I don't have a real good reason not to. Something inside just makes me feel like she's got an agenda always. I get real mean girl vibes from her. It's possibly not fair. I can't explain it. Anyway, the point of this scene is so that Raquel can tell us a really fun story. She apparently went out a few days earlier with the girls. She got so drunk that she passed out. Scheana made sure that she got home okay. She left her phone in her purse in the kitchen, and she just went to bed. And when she woke up in the morning, she found hundreds of texts from James. It said whore, slut, all these things. Dayna's like, he did not call you that. And she goes, blink, 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 blink. That's Dayna. Dayna's like, oh, he did not call you a slut. And she goes, Danica's like, stop. She's always got a smirk on her face or something. It's so obvious that she cares much more about the gossip than the person. But what's really skeeving me out here, you guys, is that Raquel is in her interview, her confessional, and she is telling the camera, I didn't even really look at all of the texts because they were stressing me out. And off camera, a producer says to her, the thing to do would be read through them. And she goes, oh yeah, okay. So then she reads them out loud to us. I'm not sure why they called themselves out like that, because he says it off camera, but, they've got the subtitles there so we could see it. I was watching it with my husband and I just looked at him after that and I was like, that feels really exploitative. I don't know. And I don't mean to treat Raquel like she's mentally challenged or something, but I do think she's incredibly naive. No, it didn't feel right. Anyway, after he said that, she immediately said, yeah, you're right. So she starts reading them, and it's James ranting. Slut, whore, I'm breaking up with you, you effing whore. And she said, it makes me literally want to throw up. Yeah, but does it make you want to leave him? Because that's what I wish it would make you feel. Now we check in with Tom and Ariana at their house. Ariana's getting her makeup on, getting ready for her birthday party. I guess she slept well the night before and she's feeling a little bit better. She's like, I'm not like woohoo, but I at least can like handle things better. She asks Sandaval if he heard anything from Jax because, you know, he sent that extremely long text of apology. And he said no. Jax didn't reply back, but I mean, I guess I didn't really expect him to. Then they're talking about the party, and I guess Ariana said, Brittany is coming to the party. I assume Jax is too. Like, have you thought about like what you're going to do when you see him? And he said, you know, I don't expect to change his mind or anything like that. And then he asked her what she was going to do about going to the wedding. And she said, I don't know, but it's a week away and I'm going to have to tell Brittany. Okay, so now everyone is heading to the Naughty Pig for Ariana's birthday party. Stassi and Beau are there, so I don't know. I think if Stassi can't do it big, she doesn't want to do it at all. So this is all Ariana this year. Pretty much everyone is there. We see Peter and Kristen. Speaking of diminished roles, Kristen really has a diminished role this year too. Jax and Brittany show up. Lala is there. I mean, Rand is not, but you know, pretty much everyone else is there. Oh, James and Raquel. The new people all seem to be there too. Because now Danica is grilling Charli about her date with Brett. How about you just mind your own business, Danica, okay? Anyway, Charli tells her that it did not go well. That all he did was talk about his ex and, yeah, not the guy for her. Okay, now the OG girls are all sitting together. And Lala's like, guys, we've been here a long time and Ariana's not here yet. I mean, like, is she even gonna come? I just texted her, where are you? But, you know, like last night she was telling us that sometimes she just wants to drive off a cliff. And she said that if she went to Kentucky without Sandaval, she would be miserable. Now everyone looks at Brittany and she goes, that makes me feel terrible. And Katie goes, so Brittany, at this point, like Sandaval is still not welcome? And Brittany said, well, Sandaval wrote this like big, long apology. And Jax is just like being stubborn, saying, well, he could have sent this before. But to me, I do not think that Jax will be happy if Sandaval is not there. Like, I cannot stop thinking about that. Then we see Ariana and Tom show up. I promised a little certain someone in the comments that I would try to say Ariana more often, so this one is just for you. Hi, Ariana. Then we get Jax's confessional. Sandaval texted me the other day, but a text after 25 years of friendship, it's kind of like a slap in the face. You kept telling him, look, all you had to do was text me, man. I waited 4 days looking at my phone, looking for a text. That's all you had to do. Okay, so now he gives you a very long, heartfelt apology in the form of a text, and it's not good enough. You are just a fragile little flower, aren't you, Jax? So Stassi, just like she said she would, is talking to Jax about how she thinks that he's going to regret it if he doesn't have Sandaval at the wedding. And Jax is like, I shouldn't have to give my best man second, third chance. And Stassi said, he doesn't have to be a groomsman. Just invite him. And he goes, I know. And she said, listen, if you don't think you guys will ever be friends again, then don't. But you've been friends for so long. And so he's like, yeah. So she and Lala walk away so that Jax and Brittany can kind of talk through it. So Brittany goes over to where Sandaval and Ariana are standing. And she said, hey, can we talk to you for a second? And they go, yeah, sure. So the four of them, Tom and Ariana and Jax and Brittany, sit down to have a chat. Brittany starts by telling Sandaval that, you know, they got in one fight. And I'm not going to hate you forever because we got in one fight, Sandaval. And he said, you know, after that, I left that place that night assuming that I was done. Like, I was dead to you guys. He said, I was angry and I was sad. And when I talked to you, Jax, I really didn't know what to say. And Jax said, all I really was looking for was an I'm sorry. You know, he did get that, didn't he? Am I wrong about that? Anyway, Sandaval apologizes again. And Jax said, you know what? It's done, man. I squashed it. It's water under the bridge. And Sandaval said, that's very big of you. I really appreciate that. Ugh. And Jax said, of course I want you guys at the wedding. Sandaval said, how do you want me there? I'll do whatever you want. I'll just come as a guest, like whatever you want. Jax, no, I want you as my best man still. Sandaval, tears in his eyes. Can I give you a hug? You know, he would be a fool to only have Schwartz as his best man. Because you know Sandaval's the one who will take care of everything. I want Sandaval as my best man. Well, that gets Brittany teary-eyed, and Ariana goes, oh, Brittany, and then they hug, and all is right with the world. In Sandaval's confessional, he's like, I'm back. And then in Schwartz's confessional, he's like, oh, thank God. I feel like I can breathe a sigh of relief. I've been watching YouTube tutorials on how to tie a bow tie all week. And he's like, oh, this feels so right. It feels so right. Jax, of course, in his confessional. Yeah, I'm still not over what he's done. But it's just easier to shut everybody up. Oh, good. Nice. All right, so Brittany and Jax have to leave. They have to get home because they are waiting for a call from Lance Bass, and it's the only time he can call because he's in Hawaii. We have a stupidly weird little scene with Kristen and Katie at the bar. Katie tells us in her confessional that she doesn't know why Kristen's even talking to her like everything's fine, because clearly it's not. You know, they had the big fight in Vegas and all that. Kristen's drunk. She's talking about how Carter, of course Carter's going to come to the wedding. Of course he is. And Katie's like, are you with him? No, I'm not with him. He's not coming for me. And she's like, well, nobody else cares if he's there. Brittany's already said, I don't care if Carter comes, but Carter is coming. And it is because Kristen wants him there. That whole thing is weird. And I know it is Kristen's storyline this year, and that's all we're going to hear. But it is the strangest relationship thing I've ever heard. Like Stassi said probably 8 episodes ago, break up with him or be with him. Just pick a lane because nobody really cares that much. What I think Katie's getting at in her confessional is that Kristen is maybe getting off on the sympathy that she gets from going through a breakup, even though she's not going through a breakup. And I'm kind of wondering if there might be a little truth to that. She's feeling a little isolated from the group, and as long as she keeps being sad about breaking up with, you know, the love of her life, maybe the sympathy that she does get feels good. I don't know. Like I said, I cannot figure that one out. Then we check in with James and Raquel, and James is like, well, you know, since I'm not drinking, I'm just probably gonna say my byes pretty quickly. It's not like I want to go mingle or anything. Ariana did invite you to her birthday party. So, you know, like, be here for a second. And he goes, all right. And then she said, I'm really glad you're not drinking tonight, but we need to talk about the other night and how you treated me. And he goes, had you answered your phone, I wouldn't have been so triggered. Ah, okay. In his confessional, he goes, well, you know, when Raquel doesn't answer, I just think that she's out there doing things I used to do. Okay, now for some reason, well, not some reason, I guess because it's Lance Bass, we follow Jax and Brittany when they leave the party early and they're on the phone with Lance Bass. He wants to know, you know, some personal little details about them and their life that they would like him to, you know, talk about and to mention while he's officiating the wedding. And Jax said, I want you to wear multicolored robes. And they laugh, and he said, oh, like Jesus Christ Superstar? No, not Jesus, Joseph. Come on, Lance. Get your Broadway musical straight. But of course, Jax and Brittany just giggle incessantly because, 1, because it's Lance Bass, and 2, because they don't know what he's talking about. Right before the hang up, Jack said, okay, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for doing this. I know it's a lot of pressure, but, we're leaving it all up to you. He goes, okay, goodbye. They hang up, and Jax goes, why did I say that? It's a lot of pressure. Like, this guy is selling out arenas across the world. And I'm saying, I know it's a lot of pressure to officiate our wedding. And Brittany goes, because it's Lance Bass. She's like punching him in the shoulders. Whatever. I cannot tell you how happy I'm going to be when this wedding's over, you guys. Okay, now we're at Sir. I don't know if it's the next day or a couple days later. And Raquel is working, and behind the bar is Ariana and her brother Jeremy. He works there too? So bizarre. Anyway, she said, Raquel, can I talk to you outside for a minute? And so they go out back. And Ariana has also heard about James and the rage texts. And Raquel said, yeah, well, if I hadn't have gotten drunk and I kept him updated throughout the night, then he wouldn't have drank. Okay, so you believe that it is your fault that he drank and got triggered. Ariana said, but that's not your fault. That's on him. And then she asks her if she would mind showing her the text messages, which Raquel does, of course, because I don't know why I feel so protective of her, but I do. Not that I think Ariana has ill intent with it at all. I don't. It's just that I feel very conflicted about this. It's interesting. The camera shows it, but I can't totally make out what he's saying, but it's one word at a time. Like one word, send, another word, send. Like he's sending it after every single word. It's bizarre. All I can make out is something like I will never marry you, or I'm breaking up with you, that kind of thing. But anyway, Ariana said it's only a matter of time before words like that start to become what you think and believe. And then she tells her that she was in a relationship very, very similar to that. And I think she had told us this before. She was in a verbally abusive and very controlling relationship with someone. And she tells us that she got texts like that a lot. And she regrets that she didn't leave as soon as that started happening. So she tells Raquel that she doesn't want her to sacrifice her own self-worth for somebody else's well-being, which is basically what she is doing. Raquel said basically this is like the last straw. And Ariana gives her a look like, is it? Because I don't think she believes it. And I don't quite believe it either. All right, now we are back at Sir. And Charli, Scheana, and Brett are the players in the next scene. And Scheana is in fine form. In her confessional, she said, so I love Ariana to pieces, but I booked a job singing Good as Gold on the East Coast, and I just could not pass that up. And then she said, but I did hear that Charli went dressed as me. Then we see a side-by-side. I don't see it. Because it was the same color, maybe? I don't know. Charli had a dress on. Scheana had a top and a skirt or pants. Not seeing it. Anyway, Brett said that, I wish you were at the party because I really kind of wanted to talk to you. Like, I didn't want you to be upset because I had a lunch date with Charli. And she goes, it's not like I'm upset. I just think that she's a party girl and she's not ready to settle down and I didn't want you to get hurt. And he's like, I'm not going to get hurt. What makes you think Brett wants to settle down, Scheana? That's so stupid. Anyway, Charli shows up and then Brett goes, oh, you guys are wearing like the same outfit tonight. All right, first of all, it's the Sir uniform. So it's not like, oh my God, we showed up in the same dress. But I guess because they have like over-the-knee boots on, both of them. And Scheana goes, it's just like you're really morphing into me. But that just rolls right off Charli's back because she said, oh, I'm glad you're both here because I wanted to get something cleared up. Brett told me that you think I'm untrustworthy. Scheana's like, I never said that. So it really quickly turns to being the girls against Brett. But the funniest part is Scheana goes, I never said that. In fact, I've never used that word. I don't trust anybody. Okay. You just don't use the word untrustworthy, but you don't trust anyone. So Charli said, yeah, that seemed kind of strange to me that you would say that, because honestly, you've been the nicest person here to me. And I was thinking if there was something to, like, maybe you liked Brett, that's why he said it, because honestly, I would not let some dick get between our friendship. And then, of course, Scheana says, oh, yeah, but, I like him, but, I don't like him like that. Flashback to Scheana telling someone, so, there is a crush there. And then Charli goes on to say, from Brett's perspective, I was thinking, if Scheana did tell you something in confidence, then what are you breaking that trust and telling me for? Okay. Charli knows exactly what she's doing. And Sheena's like, yeah, good point. And Charli said, yeah, because that was also a big turnoff for me, because why would you do that to her? And Scheana goes, yeah, that pissed me off. And she goes on to say, and also you're talking about a girlfriend from 2 years ago, you're going on and on about. And he goes, well, I'm sorry, but we were at a lunch gathering. Because obviously now I know it wasn't a date. A lunch gathering. A gathering of two people. Yeah. Oh. Charli, would you care to go to a lunch gathering with me? So Brett's pissed now, though. He's like, we asked each other about our lives. Don't make it sound like I made the whole conversation be about her. And Charli's like, are you finished yelling? And he goes, no, I'm not finished. And she goes, okay, because it's a lot. So now Brett and Charli are going at each other. And Scheana is standing there with just a little hint of a smile on her face, because she's in her happy place right now. Charli and Brett appear to hate each other. Her work here is done. This is why Brett can't have friends who are girls, because we just take it to the next level. In his confessional, Brett said, it's like I'm in the middle of this Scheana Charli smoothie, and it's the worst smoothie in the world, and I'm drinking it. That was probably one of your worst analogies. And then Charli's like, okay, well, I need to get back to work. Love you both. And he goes, I don't care. And don't try to walk off like you have the last word and make me look like an idiot standing here. And Charli goes, okay, you can write it in your diary. And off she goes. And then we get Scheana's confessional. I didn't intentionally poison the well with Brett and Charli. Do I want them to get together? No. But I didn't do it on purpose. My bad. I used to like you, Scheana. All right, guys, now we are at the Kentucky Castle in Versailles. It actually is very pretty. The grounds are pretty. It's grassy and a lot of open space. And I guess they're staying there too. All of the bridal party is getting there and finding their rooms and loving them. And Scheana and Kristen are sharing a room. And Sheena's like, so is Carter coming? And Kristen said, yes, Carter's coming. And Scheana wants to know where he's staying. And she said, he is not staying at the castle. And then in her confessional, she said, Carter is not staying at the castle. That was Brittany's request. And that is fine because he's not my boyfriend. Okay, why is Carter coming then? He's not in the wedding. He's not friends with the guys. And he is not dating Kristen. So why exactly is he flying to Kentucky? Just seems a little fishy to me. So it's 2.5 hours before the rehearsal, and Lala is dressed and ready. And she goes in I think she goes in Kristen and Scheana's room, but Ariana is in there too. And she goes, I'm ready. And Ariana goes, oh, Lala, that is hilarious. And she goes, what do you mean? And Scheana's like, you are not going to wear that. What? She's wearing a white dress. And everyone's like, you cannot wear white. And in her confessional, Lala goes, I thought that was just to the wedding, but I didn't know I couldn't wear white to any event prior to that. Scheana tells her she looks like an asshole. You look beautiful, but you look like an asshole. Anyway, someone, I guess, had an extra dress for her, and so she changes into it. In Tom and Katie's room, there's a little bit of a gray cloud over their heads because their lizard dog passed away overnight. Yeah, I mean, he knew that he wasn't eating. He probably should have taken him to a vet or figured out what he could do to get him to eat, or like what if there was something wrong, if he was too warm or too cold, or I don't know. You know, the thing about lizards, I think some of them can be very, very hard to take care of. Like, conditions have to be just right. Otherwise, they don't thrive. So anyway, there's a little memorial for dog. In Jax and Brittany's room, they have a little balcony and they go out there, and Brittany opens her arms and goes, "I'm getting married." We know. The best show of restraint that I have ever seen on this show is Jax not jumping off that balcony. I mean, how many times can you listen to your fiance scream out to the world that she's getting married? It's too much. It's just too much. We have a superfluous scene of Lisa walking into Tom Tom, talking to Max about how she's sad and going through the motions, and how she's going to miss the wedding. She's sorry to miss the wedding, but she thinks it's good for Jax, who they believe Jax is growing up at least somewhat. And then we get a little montage of Jax and Lisa at their engagement party and all that stuff, giving a speech. That's about it. Then we're back in Kentucky. And it's time for the rehearsal. We're introduced to the wedding planner and the coordinator. Sandaval has brought a rolling suitcase filled with ice and cocktails, and he's got an umbrella to keep Jax out of the sun and, cool and calm. And oh God. I just keep thinking, Schwartz wouldn't have done all this. In his confessional, Sandaval said, "I've gotten really good at being a best man. I feel like I should start a service." And then we see this fake commercial. "Hi, I'm Tom Sandaval, CEO of T. Sandy LLC, and I put the best in best man." They're going back and forth between his fake commercial and what's happening. He has a fan for Jax to hold. And then he goes, "I don't throw shade, I provide shade." And he's, handing, like I said, the umbrellas out. Then you see Schwartz give a testimonial for the commercial, and he goes, "I used Tom Sandaval at my wedding. Not only did he take care of my dog, but he cried real tears. And he did both at the same time." And then you see that scene of Sandaval crying and holding the dog and then wiping his tears on the dog's fur. Oh, God. Then Scheana gives a testimonial and says, "Tom Sandaval was not the best man at my wedding, and now I'm divorced." Okay, so we're back at they're all getting ready to walk out, and the coordinator is calling out who's partnering up with who. Scheana said to Brittany, "Hey, do you want to get somebody to fill in for Randall? Because Randall's not there yet." But this reminds me of something. Randall was taking Sandaval's place. I mean, not as best man, but he was an extra groomsman. So why aren't they short a girl? She must have asked somebody else then too to be in it. She probably did, but it's not someone we know. It's like if she had asked Raquel or something, of course we'd hear about that, So it must be one of her friends from home. Okay, so the wedding party is lined up. And Jax says to Schwartz, "Hey, he's supposed to be behind you, by the way." And Schwartz said, "Sandaval?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay." And Sandaval is best man number 2. But it is so awkward because Sandaval had run to get an umbrella to keep Jaxie out of the sun. And he comes running back and he's like, "Oh, here we go, here." And he's got the umbrella over him, but he's right next to him. Not even Jax can say it to his face at that point. Oh, okay. So the coordinator catches that and he tells Brittany inside, "Listen, I think we have the Toms in the wrong order. So should I go out there and swap them? And Brittany looks out and she goes, oh, that's going to be so awkward. I think, you know what? So I think it's okay. Let's just leave it. And he goes, okay. She should not have done that. Let the coordinator be the bad guy, you know? Anyway, Jax complained to Brittany about it. And then she's like, okay, I didn't want to upset anybody, but all right. And he goes, it's my wedding too. So, okay, I might have this wrong, but it seemed weird because Katie said, Sandaval, you're walking with me now. And he goes, oh, I am? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'll stand wherever. So in his confessional, he's like, when Jax asked us to be his best men, I always envisioned myself standing right next to him. So now that it's Schwartz, I mean, you know, it's expected, but it hurts a little. Dude, you cannot expect. 2 days ago, you literally were not even invited to come to Kentucky. So the idea that you're still a best man should be enough for you right now. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, yay. It looks like we're going to end this episode on a happy note because we're at James and Raquel's apartment. Sorry. James is making chicken tacos, and Raquel asks him if he's bummed that he's not going to the wedding, and he's like, no. I kind of had enough of hearing about Jax's wedding. Listen, for the first time, I don't think James is faking it. I think he is genuinely happy not to be going to Kentucky to that wedding. He's like, okay, get married already. After this weekend, I don't ever want to hear about it again. No more hashtag Jax got it right. Yeah, if you guys have followed either of them on Instagram, everything is with the hashtag Jax got it right, WRIGHT, because Brittany's last name is Cartwright. I know, it's nauseating. So Raquel looks at her phone and she goes, no one's really posting about it. And James goes, seems kind of fishy to me. Raquel, maybe everybody's just wasted like I was the other night. Oh, God. Great segue. James goes, let's not go there. But she is going to go there. She is determined to go there because she sits down and she goes, I'm not going to pretend like it didn't happen just to make you feel better. So his defense is that, you know, he says a lot of things to people when he's drunk. And he goes, I'm never mean to you when I'm sober, am I? And she agrees he is not. And she goes, but you do give me a tone. And he's like, I'll give you a tone. That's my personality. I'm from England. I get a tone. It's just who I am. If you don't love me for who I am, then bye-bye. Okay. You're verging on acting like you do when you're drunk. God, Raquel. You're embarrassed by your actions, and you should be. That's well received. Cut it out right now, or I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave. I don't know. She's like, it's okay to express your emotions. I'm not telling you not to. And he goes, you're just telling me to stop drinking. And she goes, yeah. He's over the conversation and actually walks out of the apartment. In her confessional, she says that she's the one person that stands by him through everything. And, you know, she is not wrong about that. Especially last year through the whole thing with everybody hating on him about the thing with Katie and all that. She did more than she should have. But yeah, I mean, she always did stand by him. She's right. And then back to the apartment, he walks back in again. So anything else we need to talk about? And she said, you don't like hearing about it because it's the truth, right? But we need to talk about it. And she basically, I guess, is trying to tell him that she's not going to take responsibility for him anymore, that she's been allowing him to circle back and forth between drinking and not drinking. And she said that it scares her the way he talks to her when he's drinking, because if they have kids one day, she doesn't want to put them anywhere near being in a situation even close to that. And then she tells him that if he can't get his shit together, they're going to break up. She continues to say that she wants to go to self-help meetings, and he said, what do you mean by that? And she said, like AA, and she said there are Al-Anon meetings that she wants to go to. And he said, okay, that he would go to a meeting that week and that he will stop drinking. I mean, I don't know how many times he's told her that in the past, don't know that I would be super hopeful the first time somebody said that who had a drinking problem, but at least he said it. He could have just, thrown something across the room and walked out. It's more than just his drinking, though, you guys. I just think he's got anger issues, and I think that kid's fighting a lot of demons. And, AA meetings for sure will help, but he also might want to get some therapy to go along with that, In his confessional, he said that something about the way she's looking at him right then and there is different than before, and that he really believes that she will walk out on him if he doesn't get his act together. I mean, it really is sad at the end, though, because, she tells him that she loves him. He's like, come here, and she comes and sits on his lap, but she starts crying. And he tells her not to cry, that he's going to get help. And she goes, I know that I can't stop you from drinking. If you're going to drink, you're going to drink, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just really sad, you guys. Yeah, and that's where we end this episode. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And leave a comment down below. I want to know what you think about everything. All right, I will see you next week for the next recap of Vanderpump Rules. Bye.